Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CIS Minor Championship 2017, taking place as a LAN finals over in St. Petersburg. Of course, these teams competing for the lion's share of over $50,000. But not only that, the money, well, that's just a small part of a big pie, because this is all about qualifying, getting those top two spots to the 2017 E-League Major.
That is what they are here to play for. So, going into the ninth round now, typically the winner of this shall pick the CT side. And usually looking at a 9-6, even 10-5 half, pretty standard there. Let's talk a bit about the teams as well. We have seen Quantum play Train last night, and they won that 16-1, I believe, or 16-2.
It was a pretty damn stomp either way. I think 16-1, 16-2, what is the difference? It's a complete whitewash.
Yeah, obviously, not really too much showing there from Zarlands, but ALLIN is going to be a different whole caliber of team and different caliber of players as well. We saw that yesterday. Quantum just walk all over the Zarland players on Train, especially Rocker's AWP being so impactful here. But will it change up onto the next day, maybe the day between? You also got to imagine as well, ALLIN watching that game, understanding that they will be playing these 5 players here on Quantum.
Yeah, I think in regards to ALLIN, they have a pretty rich history in the grand scheme of things, don't they? Of course, you know that prior to the qualifier, they had Haji and Kashanda, who've been out of the professional scene for a pretty long amount of time. I think it was about spring this year when they started, or when they stopped playing, over on Arcade, if I recall correctly. And then you add to that further, and you have that fluffy gangsters link. Now we've been hyping up Little a fair bit, and I think that was pretty damn justified as well, because this is they're pretty damn strong AWP we're talking about. But there is a link, of course, on the ALLIN side of things as well, in terms of fluffy gangsters at the Cologne qualifiers.
Yeah, obviously Little having little impact in his games, and actually Rocks falling short, losing out to VWS. We saw them play that. They are still in the tournament, as I got wrong earlier. Looking at the brackets, they are in the lower bracket there, so they can still play for all, and even a chance at the minor. So going into this one though, ALLIN, obviously some of those players from fluffy gangsters, but also lots of connections between these players. Many minors have been played between these 5 sets of players. MIR, JR, and so been playing together on teams, the Clone Minor and obviously the MLG one.
I think that minor experience will certainly prove that they have the ability to cope under pressure, be a coordinated team, and overall a force to be reckoned with. So certainly very excited to see where this one is going to swing. Of course, we don't just have 5 players in the server, we have 10, which means we have ourselves in opposition. Who may they be?
Oh, that's going to be Quantum. Apologies for that, just slight IRL issues. But anyway, moving on to this one. Quantum, we saw them play yesterday. IGLing them, shall be Rocker's AWP as well, and his AWP and IGL has been working out well for them. We saw them yesterday completely decimate Zarlands, but the problem is, could have been a fluky game. I mean, you've got to think. I mean, the thing is, we've seen ALLIN before, obviously play previously, and they are here because they made it out of groups. And going into the seeds, they have got the lower seeds, so this will be the first map picked by Quantum onto Train. But you got to think as well about the other maps as well. Train does 2 Mirage. All maps in favour of Quantum past this one.
Yeah, certainly going to be very, very intriguing to see how things are going to go. Of course, looks like everyone is going to be going to get ready. I think the Russian analysts are having a wonderful chit-chat right now about the 9th round and the connotations of Train. So I feel it's only justified for us to... we've covered roughly where we think things are going to go on Train, but how about predictions? That seems like something we can touch on.
My initial prediction would be 2-1 in favour of ALLIN. Just... looking at the maps, Mirage and Dust 2, they love that. Obviously, Quantum being good on Train. The problem is, though, Train is only 1 map in a best of 3, so could potentially be seeing 2-1 unless Quantum can pull something out of the bag.
It's certainly going to be exciting to see if it will be that 2-0 fluke. Of course, we have already had our first BO3 today, and that was, well, quite the exciter. There was a lot of interesting frags here and there, and we had some pretty big catalysts to throw into the mix, and a very well, I think it's justified to say we weren't expecting to see Pound being our, serious MVP.
I mean, the fact that in the previous games on Overpass as well, he didn't really step up. Problem is, he didn't really have to when playing versus Rocks. They completely decimated them, and then Pound, when it really mattered and the passion showed, he really did step up, dropping 40 bomb in overtime versus... My goodness, my mind has slipped me. I've completely forgotten, honestly.
It's gone. Is it just disappeared into thin air?
Of course. As well?
No, it's Team Spirit in the winners' finals. Of course, VWS
in
the semi-final, lower side.
Of course, things
that does mean.
There. Sorry. Anyway, going into this one here. Ninth round already depicted. Hopefully the CT side can get rolling, try and get that pistol. If the Ts do get the first pistol and they do get those subsequent rounds, potentially looking at 3-0, that could change everything. Once you know you are the Ts, you know the CT economy, you can change so much on how you play. That can really change the outcome.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, the importance of this match is pretty up there in the grand scheme of things because you take away the prizes, you take away. Just look at the brackets. Of course, it is that double elim style, which means that for the team to walk away the winner here, they're going to be facing Team Spirit in the winners finals, giving themselves just a BO3 away from the grand finale spot, a very, very important one at that. And of course, then you have the losers rounds. Of course, we have one loser round and the added loser finals. Well, we unfortunately know the loss of VWS, which puts them already to be our first team down there. But we have to place a second, and that'll be one of these guys, and I'm interested to see who it's going to be.
What's your prediction actually going into this?
I'm going to go with easy for all in, right? They've got to just all in.
All in on all in, but then again, potentially the map as well, the one match map upset potentially for Quantum, and with the first round getting underway and Pop Dog aggression, but all in, JR will find the first, and maybe trying to get the second, peeking out, does actually tag him down, the final shot from his USP will find that frag, but it's Mike instantly traded out by JR again, and Kishindo falls, and now JR towards the CT train. Can he get more frags? But there's 3 players that all of the CTs have shown. If the Ts can get the bomb, they can go back towards B and just change the way they want to play this.
Rocker as well is such a solid spot in terms of finding those headshots, and if he can do just one step further, could secure this ramp. The CT side falling back in towards Connector now, looking to build up a fire, stir it up into something, and then from there,
oh my,
not allow extinguishing, which is going to be a very swift one tap, looking for a second, but Balb going to take him down, leaving us back into a 1 versus 1, JR versus Balb, and why even plant the bomb when you can slam in the face with a Glock?
Fakes it then, actually catch that player out. Well played there by Balb. So the Ts win the first pistol, and that's going to make such a big difference as long as they don't forfeit this force buy to the CTs, they will have the 3-on lead, but more importantly, they can able to understand the CT economy, know when they're versus AWPs, know when the CTs have Molotovs. That can really change the pace of the game and really change their playstyle.
Sure, as now we are going to be looking towards this lower spot. It's all going to be on CZ. Can Chopper hold things off as he finds the first. Tries to go for a second, but it's all but a little bit too rough to handle. But Mo, on the other hand, well, he's playing with a blur as he slides on around the place. Damage eventually going to be limited, but Kashana going to be right on behind the CZs. Are going to be ever so fruitful as he put us back towards the 2 versus 2. Rocker 31, Balb still intact on 100. A lot of time to play with, but the CT side doing a very talented job at contesting this one, especially when you throw into the mix of Deagle. RJ going to be doing the work, the Tech 9 quick on his heels. The CT side still looking to chase.
JR that falls from the ramp then takes on that final kill onto Rocker. 1-1, and now the CTs, they've won their first round of this game. Take the first, and winning that as well means their economy is still pretty abysmal. Only going to be the rifle on 2 players, FAMAS, and then M4 on JR and Chopper. If they lose this, if QB can win theirs, well, they will be fully ecoing this, so hopefully the CTs can have 4 or 5 players stay alive, trying to start to build their economy. And then leading into the full buy round, we can see that there's always play for there.
That would certainly be the ideal position for them to find themselves in. It looks like an elevated angle is going to be taken. The Tech 9s, yet again, putting up a bit of a fun fight. The CT side this time keeping it nice and clean, it seems. The initial 2 frags be picked apart. Vultures just scooping away from these dead corpses, but Rocker with the Deagle yet again and putting on a bit of a show, adding some flair to the round, doing what he does best. Zmer eventually going to deliver a punishing blow on towards Undo, leaving Rocker with a Deagle, a 1v4. Now, I have some faith and I'm all for huge players, but, well, there you have it. We don't even need a response.
Yeah, all he was trying to do there was try and take some of the guns out of the CT's hands, try and lower their economy as much as possible. But as the bomb did go down in the first pistol, we'll be seeing the 5 rifles and pretty abysmal set of utility as well for the T's, so can't really see too much in terms of execute. Potentially strong Ivy control though. You only need 1 or 2 smokes to get Ivy control along with the flashes. Try and get the first frag there, and then once you have control of Ivy, that makes it so much easier for your teammates to push out towards A main and try and get into the A bomb site and have that backstab from Ivy as well.
We talk about taking control of Ivy. We have ourselves our first pick, but the B site, it's going to be a flat out aggression. Mer with the UMP running up, looking to go face first against his opposition as he will get just that opportunity, but only going to net a 1-for-1 trade. And Balb, he's clocked onto his position. He's looking to hold that angle, see if he can find that return frag in itself. As Kashanda going to go aggressive over towards the A side. The flash is going to be pitch perfect, enabling him to go even closer and just give his opposition a friendly hug, and most notably upgrade to the rifle, as it is going to be a quick flurry backwards and forwards, but it's the same age-old narrative. Trading, and well, just some more trading.
Waterfall's finding that frag. Well, me, this is the 2 versus 2 now. It's mine. Meh. This is the problem with the timings. If he looks away, he will fall, and MIR is dead. It's mine takes that frag. It's the 2 versus 1 now. Chopper, if he can't isolate these players, it'll be so hard for him to win this. I mean, there is really hardly any utility on the side of the T's, but at the same time, no kit onto the CT player. And even it's going to be bomb, it's going to be planted for It's Mine as well. And It's Mine, speaking of the devil, does take down Chopper, and he will fall.
You say their name and they shall appear, almost just kind of pulling out a genie out of a glass bottle. Who knows at this point? As it is going to be early days just yet, going into our 5th round, and, well, genies imply dreams, making a wish. Something for the CT side would be them getting going in a nice and smooth fashion. Of course, the AWP in towards JR's hands could provide a bit of a support in that regard. Of course, the limited aspect of QB with the SMG on towards Balb. It looks like we're going to see some presence gained over towards B, but looks like a bit of a ruse, if anything.
Yeah, now we can finally start getting into this game now. All my technical issues are now fixed, so I can now have my full attention onto this. So, already 2 rounds apiece, and the UMP on the side of the T's here, Balb, needs to be playing quite close with that. Maybe be the first man in, try and get traded by one of your rifles, and have the players with the AKs and the utility last alive. But anyway, Undo watching for that aggression you saw towards B in the previous round now, and MIR Mir standing between the trains. This is such a good position as well, because if they do opt to come out towards A main, he will have such a good off angle, almost guaranteeing the frag. It's just the refrag gets to try and dodge, but presence towards Pop Dog between Kashanda and Balb. Not too much of an issue though. It's more so it comes down to MIR Mir. If you can find the first frag and not get traded, it will mean so much for him.
It would mean possibly one of the best scenarios they can find as a lineup here as he looks towards Pop Dog, tapping on away, unable to find anything just yet, peeks out towards the right side and does the job there, and now it's all just about staying alive, spots out that he's getting pushed in from all angles and will pay the price. It's QB Fire, when they storm on through, it's going to be a Desert Storm that allows them to pick up this round in very quick succession.
I mentioned before that he needed to find the frag and then just try and stay alive there. Gets one, but gets instantly traded, and the problem is the trades will always go in favor of the T's. As it goes to the 2 versus 2s, the 3 versus 3s, it always favors the T's in those situations, but only 1 trade coming out, only 1 player falling for Quantum, 4 players stay alive, and ALLIN, they are now on their harsh reset. 0 economy for them here. Just USPs and HE grenade, not much to come about of it. Undo here as well, playing fast towards Electric. Can he get the first one?
Flying out, trying to find the first, but it's going to be just a complete bloodbath. It's all going to be ever splattering all up the walls as left, right, and centre weight will swing, but it leaves us with Mur, the last man remaining, a USB in his back pocket. And well, no life left intact anymore.
Yep, Mir will fall, and we're going to be seeing the 4-2 now in favour of the T's. Strong showing so far by Quantum. They can keep their trade game going onto their T side throughout this first half. Could be seeing potentially more than the 6 rounds I mentioned earlier. No AWP as well for the CT, so without an AWP, we could be expecting some Ivy aggression, maybe 2-player push Ivy, try and get some map control, because if you're going to play it nice and slow, it's going to fall into the favour of the AWP, and the AWP right now is on Rocker.
And Rocker, he is a phenomenal beast. A truly magical one when it came down to them getting to this tournament, let alone playing in it. And all he needs to do right now is bring back that form, just coax it out somehow. And such a going to be the first man to open things up, a headshot on towards Itsme. Undo going to gain some presence over towards this B side, but it's fairly passive stuff from ALLIN. They don't appear to want to budge. QB Fire, seemingly the bear, and ALLIN the stick that going to try to prod.
Eventually, the CTs will play for information. Actually, this player here, Mir, does take down Undo. A 2-man lead already for ALLIN, and going into this round, their money was so low, no AWP as well, but they are the players that get the first picks. They are the team that gets the first 2 kills. Was not expecting that. As long as they can keep this going in favour of their CT side, we could be seeing a strong showing for them and a strong lead, but so far, QB Fire in the lead, but into this round now. Chopper, he is going to see the smoke. Will he be baited out by the flash? Yes, he will. The flash does connect, so needs to spot the place for the cross. Gets 1. Can he get the second one? The bomb is down. He gets instantly traded.
The instant trades are going to be wholeheartedly bountiful as Mur finds with the headshot, but Rocker with the AWP, he goes for the flick, but overreaches. Just tries to go for some overhanging fruit, and unfortunately will get punished off the back of things, putting us back at this scoreline. Looks like we are going to see just a small pause thrown in there. Going to assume it's of a technical nature, which we can have confirmed for you there. So hopefully it will be resolved nice and quickly. But in the meantime, where do we sit right now, Stance? Of course, very early days, but there are a couple of things we can breach in terms of topics.
Not too much is shown so far, but Then again, strong trade game from Quantum, and it's so important on your T side. You look at these teams that have been together for a while. I mentioned before that 3 of these players have ties to previous minors they've played at these events before. And if the chemistry's there and the trades are strong on the T side, they could be pulling away with this one. You look at a team like Virtus Pro, obviously been together for years, and it shows when they are on their T side, they play so close knitted together. When one person dies, it's instantly traded. I want to see the same for the T side on Quantum, but obviously this technical pause, not a tactical one, so we don't know how long this shall be. Hopefully it's just a minor issue so we can go straight back into this.
Yeah, it would be ideal, of course. Just going to wait for some information, hopefully, to throw us in the loop so we can work out exactly what the case is going to be. It looks like it was a bug of some variety with the HUD. And, well, from what I can hear, it's QB have readied on up, so we should be looking to get that unpause in straight off the bat, just waiting to make sure ALLIN are now getting themselves comfortable, just having a drink or two perhaps, and then we can get back into what will be our 8th round. Now, looking at this round, this is probably a really interesting one to talk about, right? Because although ALLIN's economy is going to be limited, they have enough to do, a good chunk of damage here, get a solid buy up in terms of what they can drop. They have the AWP in the hands of JR. Prime time for them to fight for 4-4.
Yeah, it is, and actually if they can take this, the money on the T side wouldn't be looking too strong as well, so quite an important round, potentially the most important round of the first half here, and could, dictate the momentum as well. If Quantum keep losing and ALLIN keep winning these rounds and getting them consecutively, we could see momentum going in their favour, and if it does, hopefully the 9-6 I was talking about goes for them. If they, I don't know, but this is the thing, we haven't seen them really on their T side on train before, and going into the next half, albeit they could be absolutely phenomenal there. We just don't know yet, but talking generically here is usually the CT favoured side on train, so hopefully they will keep things going.
Well, it looks like our hopes and dreams of getting straight back into this one have been somewhat knocked down a peg. As ALLIN, they've lost one of their players from the server, so it looks like this one may be a tad of an extended variety.
Yeah, and actually the admin there helping out Chopper, I believe, trying to fix whichever issue he has. He says a HUD issue.
Yeah, I think, well, that was on the T side of things, so I have a feeling this one may have been a bit more widespread
so
of some variety.
Issues, basically.
Yeah, I have a feeling that may be the case. So not quite what we're hoping for, but
we saw was it Rocker? Yeah, it was Rocker earlier having an issue at that exact same PC.
Maybe it's the PC. Who knows?
Maybe it is the PC. But then again, obviously he is playing on a different side now, so different setup. All these players are cold. Currently, none of them have already played matches before today, so hopefully a slow start, but eventually getting some really good games.
Certainly would be ideal, of course. This is just the first map of what could be a potential 3 or 2, depending on the outcome of that second. Of course, this is Train, and, well, Train is traditionally a map that you always look at and go, okay, Train has this huge lopsided portion of it. But in terms of fighting up against...
huge.
Would you say it's adapted now?
Yeah, I feel like a thing that usually catches CTs off guard is early T aggression, especially out T main. If you haven't got the smokes utility to go for execute, or maybe if you're a new team, you don't have those smokes set down in place, locked in place. Fast aggression out A main is so strong because it grants you the 1 versus 1s. You've got to think on train, there's so many angles to hold. Pop dog, IV, A main. You've only got 4 players, 3 players there sometimes. You only got 1 player watching one thing. Some teams, I'm trying to think of them, SK for example, they do like the early aggression towards out A main, and they get out there, attacker runs through, goes through between the trains and try and find the trade frag onto the player playing towards site. Once you kill him, that's when you can isolate towards Ivy and get some aggression that way.
Yeah, of course, with aggression, something that comes hand in hand is that calculation, just to do it smartly. Of course, earlier on today we had a bit of an issue with that. Teams having some issues with throwing the flashes, I think, is the easiest way to sum things up. So hopefully we don't have that shine on through to this one. Team play being a big core of how these guys can get themselves qualified to that major. But
here we go.
Looks like we are finally back into things.
Yeah, finally back into this. Actually, the Deagle on undo, so not really the full set of firepower I was expecting from Quantum. JR already with the first frag there from Green Train. It's my falling. The one-man lead already for ALLIN, and gets instantly traded out. The mid falls. B aggression will grant them access to the B bomb sign, as Chopper has something to say.
It's going to be a door swung wide open. You talk about Chopper, well, he's going to be trying to fly on around, but those blades not really getting anything done at all so far. He's stuck towards the back of those trains, grouping up with an AWP, and, well, certainly an interesting partnership, and one that's not really going to be too beautiful just yet, as Kashanda eventually going to push on him with the rifle, trying to make the best opportunity he has got with that M4. And even then, bit by bit, the T side, they fall back. The CD side, they push further. The fuse is going to be toggled. JR with the AWP catches up Rocker as he tries to go for the elevated angle peak. Balb, though, finds himself too, but the fuse is going to be stuck, and well, too late, as you say. There's the words sitting upon our lips.
That backstab had to come in earlier. Try and make it 2 versus 2. The problem is those three CT players, they pushed in. They got the frag on Balb's teammate, and in that position from the 1 versus 3, it's just impossible because that player was already sticking the defuse. So if that came maybe 5-7 seconds earlier, we could have been seeing that round going in favor of Quantum, but anyway, all in. They make it 4 versus 4. 4 on 4 even. It's going to be semi-decent buy coming in from the T's. Armor on part of those players. Actually, JR the first once again. Not the AWP this time, but the rifle. But the frags go in favor of the T's.
And we find ourselves in almost a bit of a realm of insanity at this point, as the close, tight-knit aggression from QB is enough to pretty much sideline the all inside. You have to draw yourself back to this map because, unfortunately, we see 3 vectors. What we really need to be seeing is one, and, well, they're going to do the job for us. They consolidate QB, but not in the fashion that T-side want. They don't want to die. They want manpower clumping up in one tight-knit ball. And instead, they seemingly are losing their lives. 16 HP is all that It's Me has left. 74 on Balb. In fairness to them, they are together, but this is going to be a tough one to begin to try and worm their way out.
They're playing together. Unfortunately for them, unfortunately for the CTs, Balb did get that frag and it was not traded out. And the CT setup is so spread out, weak towards A. And actually, Mir playing it smart, trying to get aggressive for some information. And once he spots no players here, it's going to be quite telegraphed as to what the T's are opting to do. That fake flash coming out, trying to see if he can get one of the CTs to push information.
Yeah, it's almost just back to that analogy of prodding the bear. As they wait to see if it will respond, just go for a bit of a swipe right, swipe left. It's just patience to be played right now. A very thin deck of cards. Especially with 20 seconds left on the clock, though, they have to go on this D side, and that's what's going to punish them as Mir finds the first chopper on the second. And patience, well, that's the reward.
Finally, some subsequent rounds in the favour of the CTs now. They can start to build a bit of bank here. Money is still fairly low, though, but they do have the 1 round lead, and if you're Quantum right now, you shouldn't be stressing out too hard. More so the pressures on the CT side to keep this rolling. The T's, they can get 1 or 2 more rounds. They'll be fine. Even a 10-5 half and win the CT pistol, you know, you can get that rolling from there. The problem is that the majority of gun rounds have gone in favour of all in, and they constantly have the man advantage.
They're constantly able to claim it, which is, you know, a problem in itself, as already it's looking like the aggression is going to be the aim of the game. Rifles all but just touching distance. Chopper gonna go around, finds himself the headshot on towards Bao. That's the most impressive shot on the wall as he finds himself a double kill to total on up, and 2 HP on Waterfalls. There's no mountain, he's going to be sliding on down now. So he's going to be stuck in that corner, looking to play at the back of the rest of his team. And a 3v5 this early in, that's a mistake from QB, and a crucial one at that.
Aggression from the CT side. They had no AWP, so they knew they couldn't really play the pick game too well. They opt for the aggression, and actually Cassandra will find the frag onto Waterfalls. Going to be the 2 versus 5 now, and the T's, they are so split up, and now in the back will find It's My. It's going to be Rocker now in the 1 versus 5.
A 1v5, and, well, perhaps there's a scrap of hope, but that implies that you're digging around on the floor just looking for something. As he's going to find the first, makes it to a second on towards Hotshade, so perhaps going to prove me wrong as the third on towards JR. Hello, all in, why are you facing? This is ridiculous. Please, don't give this to him. This is not needed, just play together. You are a team. This is not a pug. Mir is going to end it.
Individual peaks coming out from the CTs there, and strong rifle play from Rocker. But unfortunately for him, it's such low HP that he does eventually fall and takes 3 guns out of the CT side, and it's going to hamper them trying to build that economy that I was just speaking about. Looking back at it now, catches 1 player in midair, catches another player peeking solely, and then the next frag onto Ivy. So, nice play there, but unfortunately for him, he will lose as he did get dinked up in that second engagement. But it's going to be the fast beat.
It's going to be building up a lot of aggression, but what's met with aggression is converted into flames. As it's going to be an eruption that completely holds them dead set in towards the upper echelons of the B-halls. They can't really get close. They have got themselves some smokes now to try and push on through, but that's if they make the choice, and it seems like they have some second thoughts. Eventually, some flashes are going to go off. They're looking for the more blinding effect of fire still just being a crucial factor, but the M4 of Chopper finds 2, now looking for even a third. Can he do it, or is the pistol's going to overwhelm him? Well, there's your answer, is undo. Well,
he needs to find a frag here. to be so hard on the retake, and he doesn't. And look how far back the T's are. They're jumbled up. That nade does not connect, unfortunately, but Ian finds the frag onto It's going to be Balb now in the 1 versus 2. Has no... Oh, actually does have armor this time. But he will fall then. Happy faces for ALLIN as they clap themselves to victory in that one. 3 rounds, sorry, leading them forward. Quantum, they've lost the momentum and they can't get it back. They keep falling short here. The early frags are constantly going in favor of ALLIN in the buy rounds. The AWP, that's what I want to see. The reaction here from the T's is to get the AWP on Rocker, have him potentially play a bit more passive, wait for the aggression from the CTs, try and get a pick that way and work off that.
It certainly is laid out pretty bare. Looks like we have yet another pause. Hoping this one is resolved nice and quickly again. But in the meantime, this one's at a much better spot, right? Because we can actually look at things and work out, okay, what's going wrong. And, well, we don't even need to. As the unpause, let's come straight back in. Looks like it was a bit of an accident.
Yeah, we can still talk a bit though. 5 rounds in a row for ALLIN, and their money doesn't really show. You've seen how close these rounds are. Quantum, they constantly fight down to the very end, but the problem is the 1 versus 1s, the 1 versus 2s constantly going in the favor of ALLIN. Maybe see one of these. All you need is one of these Quantum players to step up, and try and get some early aggression, some early frags, and potentially we could be seeing that as we do have a push from JL. But the problem is he has an AWP, and he will be facing into the AWP of Rocker, but he shoots a bit too early, I think. No, he doesn't. Just in time, and JL will fall then. I mentioned before, the passive AWP holding for the aggressive one. First frag finally going in the favor of Quantum.
Welcome change. You talk about a player stepping up and grabbing that mantle, trying to play for the success of the team. Well, right now, your eyes have to be drawn towards long, because look at Chopper, going to gain himself that AWP. And now we should be able to reposition here, which could change things up for QB, because if they thought they were out of the woods in terms of longer range pressure, they have another thing coming to them as they will be looking to bulk up. Mur to punish any sort of A resemblance of a push shot at seconds. And that lead, well, I'm not even sure I'd define that as gone. It's vaporized.
Well, they are equalised now, 3 versus 2, but low HP. He's falling down, but loses the battle. Cassandra and Mir, they find the frags here, paired up together, cover each other's back. Chopper finds that last with his AWP. It's my falls. 4-round lead now for ALLIN, and pressure, momentum, whatever you want to call it, is completely vaporized from Quantum. That fire has been extinguished.
Such a shame as we roll into our 13th round to be sat upon this point. ALLIN, of course, going to be looking to grind this one out as far as they can physically go, which the hard cap, of course, is going to be that 11-4. But QB, they're not going to be giving up easily. They're not going to roll on over. They still have a fight left in them, and that's in the form of rifles. 5 flat AK-47s.
Yeah, they don't have the AWP.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit painful.
Yeah, no AWP, and they are playing quite slow, so if JR can find the right angle here and try and catch one of these T players walking into a scope, it's such a big factor, especially on an AWP map like Train. Not having the rifle, not having the AWP, sorry, takes away so much map control from your T side as you don't have the AWP holding those long angles towards Green Train, towards Connector. Makes it so much harder for the T's to push out A main.
Yeah, it makes it just a much tougher beast to tackle. But for now, it looks like they don't even want to push. They're just going to be sitting tight, just kind of working out what their overall game plan is going to be. And I do commend them for thinking this one through. But time is something that isn't infinite. It will eventually just keep on dropping down until you will run on out. So they have to start to make some sort of movement eventually. But from the CT side point of view, well, they're happy just to drop those resmokes. Try and save up on some utility. And you have to kind of look towards their Molotovs right now. They have 4 of them still left in their back pockets. The minute this push begins,
seconds, they need to start using them soon. When it gets to about that 35 seconds on the clock, you want to start using your Molotovs preemptively. And hold off the push as much as possible, especially towards the tight choke points like A main and Pop Dog. And actually, the first one going for Rocker. Mitt does burn him alive though, but Bao finds the trade, and now Hook in. Jin even find that flag. Keep on as he rotates towards Connector, but does fall with the trade.
The CT side, they had so much stopping power, but it just doesn't really get too much done, as now it's going to be pretty heavily on the shoulders of JR and Chopper to come in from the side as the rotate going to be a little bit lackluster. JR misses a crucial shot, really one that you've got to land as Chopper now. Well, he's all the pressure on him. It's all on his shoulders, and that is going to be too big of a weight to bear, as it will crush him. As it's me, the man to do the damage, leaving us at an 8-5. And we talk about ALLIN playing for that 11-4, but you have to remember, yeah, just because they strung these rounds together doesn't mean they actually have huge amounts of money sitting in their bank. In fact, just how close these have been, it's always been clutches, which means their money is pretty damn trash. Yeah.
The close rounds have mean that the money is so bad in ALLIN, and you got to think about that Rocker 3K that you had earlier on, how much of a difference this made, how much that dented the CT economy, having to rebuy 3 rifles there. But it's my Trying to get the first, but the problem is JR on top of green train, he will fall down. There are players all around him, swarming him. Foul. Killed his teammate there. JR and his fellow teammates find 4 frags. It's only Undo to get one for the T side, and now on top of ground train, can you find any more? Peeks in the left and right side, just one though. JR falls, but the instant reply, the instant trade. Chop up with the revenge frag onto Undo, drops him 9-4. Or 9-5 even.
The most notable part for me about that is the instant response, even when you kind of add into the mix that they had such a low economical standpoint, and now they've kind of taken their disease and they've basically just inflicted it upon the side of QB, right? Because you look at them and go, okay, well, you've got 3 pistols, you then add in a UMP, 1 rifle, that's not by all means a pretty picture.
Yeah, again, no op for your T side. On a map like Train, you need that. The Deagle's not really too strong. Unless Barb can have anything to say, but maybe it's March going for that same play did earlier. But Jin wins that spray battle, and actually, Kashinda chimes in too, takes down Rocker, and Mir might just find one as Undo walks past him. He's not crouched though, so he will find the opening frag on towards B, and that's all the B players for the CT side dead, but look at where the bomb is in T-Spawn.
Yeah, the bomb is, by all means, up in the hills, nowhere left to be found, and Waterfalls is going to be looking to do some damage, and they will be combining in fairness to do a fair chunk, bringing it down to what would have been a 2v2. Then Waterfalls, well, he falls on away, and it leaves Undo left to try and rewrap a broken picture. He's in a 1v2. He does have the HP, but even then, he has to run back, get the bomb, then reposition himself, which gives the CT side so much room to set themselves up in comfortable spots.
Yeah, Undo there expecting a player to rotate towards connector, but unfortunately for him, it will not be the 1 versus 1. The CT is not playing too aggressive. Instead, they've paired up, they've played the smart. He might understand that he can still go B there, that's the thing. Does he anticipate the CT setup? With 40 seconds on the clock, he still has time to slowly decide where he wants to go, but it's looking like he will go towards B. Actually, no, it's in the MA, not Whitehall's. Undo now, peeking out towards connector from a main, and these players, they've paired up. I do like the way the CTs have played it. They both got kits, they got Molotovs and flashes, so Hutchin's low HP, but it doesn't matter too much because if JR goes second, Hutchin goes in first. Undo just gets the 1 bullet kill onto Hutchin, hopefully the reply frag, and JR can get the trade, but the bomb shall go down. The CT players, they're close.
They're going to begin their push, and JR is going to peek, but he has the HP to toy with, and, well, they give Undo a predicament. Do you want to peek left, or do you want to peek right? And unfortunately for him, there's no app to help him swipe left or right. He has to make a decision, and what the only one he's going to be doing is an early grave.
Yes, indeed. So, unfortunately for him, it will be the 10-5 half, and strong CT side showing. Quantum, though, we saw how good their CT side was yesterday versus Zarlands. Can they have a repeat showing here? Looking at the frags as well. Rock up. He was the performer yesterday. Waterfalls, this is usually the player that you see stepping up for Quantum.
It was very disappointing at just 5 frags, to be honest.
Versus Tengri as well, he was so good. Constantly getting openings, but that was on the T side. On his CT side, he's not usually too strong, so hopefully that changes, and when Quantum swap, hopefully that will allow Waterfalls to open up as a player and wake him up essentially and get him some early frags, get him some confidence as well, get his aim a bit warmed up.
Well, in terms of the AWP side of things, it has been, not really a too public affair, to be honest, is it? We've seen, the people who would be using the AWPs get frags, but not with the AWPs, only 3 and 2.
Yeah,
that's not really too much at all, is it? On a map like Train, where, you talked about at the start and saying, as much as it's not quite, 100% a playground per se, there's still a lot you can do on that CT
so many
side.
angles, yeah. So many ways to get the first frag on Train. I mean, anything. Okay, let's have a think. You can push either of the op. We see Simple does that so often, pushing either of the op, peek towards A main from anywhere, connector, brown train, green train, anywhere you want. Push up B if you get the spawn from B upper. Try and get the first frag that way. Don't play so stagnant on your CT side, but we shall see the pistol coming out. It's going to be the pistol. It's not the pistol. It's going to be the kit and smoke onto Balb. So the CTs, they have time to work with.
And we talked about they have time to work with. The CT side, they're just pushing. They're going hard and fast. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Just almost trying to rotate back on towards Tuesdays. But even then, it's not quite Tuesday. It's actually further in the week. And they're beginning to realize that. And Ditsme going to be tapping on away. A very crisp third shot on towards Chopper. And QB, they get themselves a pistol in very quick succession, a blink of an eye. And 3 were dead.
Both pistols going in their favor. But we saw what happened last time. ALLIN won the force buy, and they might even force again. Opting for the Deagle buy. So there will be AWPs leading into the first buy round, but they're doing this because they want the extra 800 to buy utility on their first gun round, and potentially that could mean smokes, Molotovs. So maybe ALLIN have got a smoke strategy or some executes they want to use going into the first buy round.
We can certainly hope as already going to see the building blocks of aggression from the T side, but it is pretty much just Kashanda at this point, and already Punishment yet again going to find its way to be a sour point. And JR is going to be the first to fall. Next in line will be Miller, and perhaps that Group Grave, more of a likable prospect at this point, as Waterfall's just going to be adding to the tally as ALLIN. They don't seem to be able to do too much with these Deagles after all.
Yeah, Rocker gets another kill as well. Hutchin falls, and these Deagles, as you've just mentioned, haven't really got too much impact. Not even one kill so far. Maybe we can get one hit. Actually, no. Tether back does get that shot on the second one. Can get any more shot here. Keep towards Ivy. But shall fall. So 4 players stay alive for the CT side. That's very good for their money. If they can keep their bank rolling, they can definitely mount the comeback. Even if they lose a few rounds, they can still mount this comeback and eventually get the lead.
It's all about building yourself up confidence-wise as well. Just getting yourself, up on that pedestal and basically saying, you know what, we can do this, boys. We can get this together. And we look at the scoreline as well. I don't think that's, too big of an issue for them. There's only 3 rounds in it. They're up against Pistols in this one. All begins to add up.
Yeah, potentially 8-7. So not 8-7, potentially 8-10 in favour of ALLIN. Still though, I'm due with the first frag, but we are versus just non-armoured opponents, so only eco frags coming out for them. I'm due. Got one, can he get any more there? Try and pad his stats just a little bit. He's been playing so well so far. Hopefully he can keep it up. And players to mention as well, Rocker with his rifle. On the T side, getting them as many rounds as possible. But the problem is, he hasn't got the AWP just yet. And because he's bought the FAMAS, we might not see the AWP actually come out in the first buy round. And if the smokes come into play from the T side, maybe that actually play into Quantum's favour. Not having the AWP for the retake, and instead having the rifle to be a lot more slippery around those smokes.
Looks like the push is going to begin to take some shape. Waterfall's first in line, and the rest of his team all chanting as if they want a piece. It looks like ALLIN yet again struggling. They do a lot of spread damage this time around, so unlike the Deagles in the last, where they didn't do a single point, this one they do a fair chunk, but none of it yet again gets converted to a frag, and it draws us to this point. This was what we were waiting to see. ALLIN, 5 rifles. Looks like no AWPs in play at all across the board. It's a little bit different of a style, not one we were 100% expecting. But hey, 5 rifles, utility, they've got Molotovs, they've got those smokes. We can still see a very, very strong execute.
No AWPs coming to play. Oh, they could just go for a fast speed. Maybe they're trying to go towards Pop Dog, get control of the white holes and then play from that, but time will tell. Obviously going to this one. Looks like they are going past Pop Dog, so potentially trying to see if there's any CT aggression, and if there is, get that first frag and try and find an opening towards B. And CT side setup, you've got 1 player on B, and when there's only 1 player B, he has to play aggressive for information, because if he plays too far back and he's on his own, and the T's come in, he can't hold the site and he will lose it, and the retake will come in. So that's why you see him on top of the train right now, playing so close, playing for the information. The problem is they're playing so close, it's quite risky.
Yeah, it certainly is a 2-sided attack. One that could also be in its own defensive manner as the Molotovs gonna land. I do like the placement of that, as you say, because it pretty much it's just another element of counterplay, but it's not going to do too much in terms of the upper side. That's going to come down to sheer firepower. Balb, he will have his work cut out for him. He's got M4, of course, so he does have the ammo required of him, and it's only going to find one, though. Quick punishment to be inflicted from ALLIN. Great stuff from them as they crack the whip, and the CT sides dissipate.
4 versus 3 now. The retake shall come in, but they have kits, and the problem is Rocker falls the 4 versus 2. Retaking this B bomb site with so many players alive. The smokes are still blooming. He's got to go for the safe here, but Waterfalls might potentially hear Chopper here. If not, he could be unlucky here. Might not even be able to save his rifle here. It's the FAMAS, it's at the end of the world. They have won and strung a few rounds together, so potentially they could have a decent buy leading to the next one. But ALLIN, they finally crack the first buy round and they take it.
Getting that first buy is, at the end of the day, what counts, right? Gets you that momentum, gets you that, game-changing attitude.
Yeah, it does, and really does have good momentum. Getting the first one, thinking in your head, these guys, they can only beat us on pistols. When we have the rifles in our hands, when the actual tactics and experience come to play, we win them, and that's quite a good confidence boost, and hopefully they will carry that through, as this is actually the map pick of Quantum. Currently they are in the deficit with 3 rounds or so apiece, but anyway, the tactical pause comes out for Quantum. Good time to do it. They're not allowing ALLIN to just get too far ahead. They're trying to stay in this game.
So, the fact that it's a smart and well-timed pause aside, what do they change here? What do they use as a comeback mechanic for them? Because we've talked about the AWPs, which is something we are going to see already come into play as one as a minimum. But that aside, what is the game plan for them?
Really depends on how they want to play. If they don't have the AWP and the money's low and they have the rifles, go for some early aggression. We saw the double aggression from ALLIN side. 2 people pushing towards B, getting the early frags that way. Really pretty much gives or tells the outcome of the round in the first few seconds. If you double push up B tunnels, you get the 2 frags, or the teams get the 2 frags. That usually indicates how the round will unfold. But anyway, we're going to be seeing the 5 rifles. Actually, I take that back. It's going to be the 4 rifles for the CT side. The AWP on Rocker. So CTs, they can be a little bit more passive, allow Rocker to have time to try and find a pick maybe. But so far, we've seen him play quite passive.
Top Dog seeming to be a target of contention this time around for the T side, as ALLIN will get themselves down and about. But I'm intrigued to see if we're going to see any sort of B aggression, because Undo, he's just shoulder peeking right now, looking to get some information, looking to see if anyone will face his direction. And if they don't, could certainly plant the seed of doubt in his mind that, wait, could I get away with this? Could I actually make it work? Because Pop Dog is going to be the choice. It's my finds of one chopper will respond. Balb and be back at it again with just another trade, and Rocker with the AoE kicks it into gear and does his job, frankly, but fires the frag on towards Mer. Kashanda and JR, the last 2 remaining, a 2v4.
There's no need to face, though. There's no need to face right there. Waterfalls falls. Water does fall. Anyway, another frag there for JR. 2 versus 2, but he's low HP. Did get dinked up by Balb, so this round is very much in the favor of the CTs still, but there's no kit, so the earlier the bomb goes down, the higher the chance the Ts have to secure this round. And already the CTs getting quite cold feet here. Going back towards connector, looking for B. But the AWP is going to be so hard to use in the retake towards A. But the longer they wait, the more the bomb gets ticked down, the harder it's going to be for the T side.
Of course, for the AWP, it's about finding that pick, and Kashanda, well, basically, he pulls out the red tablecloth, gets himself a knife and fork, and pretty much serves himself up on a platter for him as he walks dead set into the crosshair, leaving it down now to JR to find the flicks, and he's not even going to be able to accomplish that task, as Undo, too quick on the trigger, will punish him. And QB, they get themselves back into this one yet again, on towards that 9th round, and starting to close down that round difference after all.
Yep, that pause going in their favour. Nice play by them. Just a mental reset and stopping the momentum from the Ts. Or breaking it even. Just, taking a breather and trying to mentally reset and trying to think, what can we change here? We saw Undo playing a little bit more aggressive there. Maybe that was one of the calls as well. Try and get some information. You saw how heavy they were playing towards A. There was no one in connector playing the fast rotate. That could be a tell that having more players towards A could net them the frags as the Ts push onto the side.
Almost certainly, as we begin the push over towards this B site, that is where the entirety of ALLIN are formulating. And look at this setup from the CT side. They are pretty much out hungry for blood, just really looking to do so much. The flashes will be popped, but neither of them actually going to be able to find a frag. They have to fall off the back of that singular flash. But are they going to be able to get anything done? As a smoke looking to fall dead set at that ramp's feet.
Undo though, pushing in. Kashanda as well. He's on the side, but the thing is though, Undo is above the train. Really spot the plane, drops down at the wrong time, but gets the connection through the smoke with the spray. JR though finds a frag for the team. Kashanda with another one. 3 versus 3.
Kashanda's position is just so valuable at this point. He's just jumping around with SMG, having the time of his life, just singing on away. And everything is coming up trumps for him. All he has to do now is just sit tight. Undo, get a peek on around. Chopper will punish. And the bomb looks like it will make its way down after all. Balb going to be there in waterfalls, of course. Back in action. Gravity going to start to pull them all towards that bomb. But Kashanda's still alive with that SMG, and this is just such a weird way to go about it. But waterfalls could catch him off guard now, and that's what's going to take place. The quick pick with that M4. The numbers yet again dwindling.
That Molotov was completely useless, but only Chopper now on the site default. When he catches players off one by one, Emir does come in to help. Chopper though finds the last one, and that Molotov from waterfalls was so questionable. I mean, the bomb is going to go down towards default. He holds onto the Molotov until the bomb's already planted. He chucks it onto the wrong side of the bomb train. Completely useless.
Certainly a hugely questionable factor for now, as we will be waiting to see what sort of response QB can bring, because right now, a double scout setup and some pistols. I don't know about you, Snods, but I'm feeling a little nerve-wracking about this one.
Yeah, quite a questionable force buy, but I guess the question, or the answer, sorry, to this is potentially panic. Not really knowing the option to do. Mir finds the first Undo, pushing towards B. You've seen him hold it there so many times, and the one time he does push, Mir holds the line, so 1 round lead. Chopper as well, towards electric. Can he catch the turn to a brown train? spots his head, sees him shooting him, actually does not win that duel. Itzmai wins it with the P250. So the 4 versus 4, the scout from Waterfalls needs to find tag, but whips the first one. Now has to relocate. Can he catch the players crossing? Unscoped, but still gets the tag.
Finding plenty of tags, but not actually getting the frags, which is right now arguably what he needs as he goes to just another jump shot, but not really being able to connect it. This is almost a little uncomfortable to witness. Is Itzmai going to be looking to close this one out with a rifle? And when you kind of look at this and go, okay, a lot of damage has been done, still makes the rifle job easier. Well, sheer manpower will say otherwise.
The team completely split, not covering for each other, but the frags still going their way. Putjin as well finds the last. I mean, the players coming the whole way around that site from Oil Train, and there's nobody watching the right side of Bomb Train, but somehow Spray does not connect in the T's. They turn 90 degrees to the right, they take that duel and they win it. Another round goes in favor of ALLIN, and right now, looking quite bleak.
Yeah, we need to start to see something come back from them, and
the eco as well.
Yeah, you have to really add that into the mix now. It's that, well, they're building one lethal concoction, but it's all in favor of ALLIN, and it's going to be a bit of a travesty if they can't make their next buy work. It's pretty much going to be an ending right there and then, as for now at least. Well, immediate damage, that's what they're looking for in the present and both the future. But that's a tough ask, especially when you have just got these flat pistols and you're up against an ALLIN side who QB have knocked them around.
Yeah, but then again, it should go to 49. I mean, 49, that's winnable. You got to think, only 5 rounds separating them there. You are on the CT side, you can get it rolling. You saw ALLIN, they had a 5-round consecutive string of things there. So maybe Quantum can do the same and try and get that same level of consistency into their rounds. But they lose the next gun round following this. That might just be the nail in the coffin into the first map.
My one concern is that QB have knocked ALLIN around so much in terms of the constant back and forth scenarios that ALLIN, they're going to be woken up now. They know that they have to be absolutely perfect, so it's just a matter of, are they going to make any mistakes? As already this push is going to begin to formulate over towards this site, but it's not the site you expect. It's all but a fake as they head over on towards the A site. And the CTs, well, they're left standing around confused going, wait, what?
Yeah, well, obviously when you're on the pistols, there's not really too much you can do when you spread out for more of a default play. So instead they opt for the force stack. They have 5 players towards B. Unfortunately, though, the T's, they read that, they get the information, and they head all the way back to A. And now, Shender will find the frags, push into his crosshair with his AK to spray us down those non-armored opponents. Looking like it will be the 14-9, and going into this buy round, this could be the last, impactful round of the half of the game, even, because if ALLIN win this, they'll be going to potentially 15. Then from there, potentially the 16th round, and maybe the map 1 win for them. And then following this would be Dust 2, I believe, which is their pick, and then obviously Mirage.
Yeah, certainly an entertaining way to approach this. But as you mentioned, this is the all or nothing for QB. ALLIN, they've dealt their deck of cards. Now all they're looking to do is play them out. Of course, 49 will be that scoreline. 5 rifles across the board. That is the tool set for both of these teams, and the only kind of difference will be utility. As already, it's going to be some preemptive Molotovs down, thrown over towards the A side of things, just making sure that there won't be no onwards charge. But this does leave things open for the CT side to adapt and begin to set themselves up. Now, should they go aggressive here? Should they try and make a play?
Still undo though, isn't it? Should they get aggressive? That's the problem though. They have no AWP, so I would say yes. Maybe a late Ivy luck potentially. We see Fur on SK. He pushes Ivy during the mid round. If he sees nothing towards Ivy, he instantly rotates towards B, having 2 players towards B. But the problem is, right now, the QB fire, there's only 1 player B, and that's undo.
They have no idea what is about to be hitting them. It's going to be just a dead set smack in the face. As ALLIN, they are ready and waiting. The flashes are going to go off, and here we go. Hutchin going to be the first to push. Undo finds the first, looking for the second, makes it work on towards JR. Doesn't quite check his elevated positions, though, and that will give Mer the ability to fire on out, run down that speedway of heaven. And now's ALLIN. Access to the bomb train. Backstab could be pretty fruitful.
Shall come down as well. It's multiple oil. Trying to find and flush out one of these players, and spots 2. Thing is that this backstab lurk has to pay off. They has to find multiple frags, but Kashender and his teammate Mir might just end it before that, and yes they do. It's going to be the 15th round for them. Match point. Quantum, you can look at that player there. This Waterfalls is staring into the abyss, thinking, how the hell have I got here? 17, not even 17 for 20, 11 for 20, sorry. Awful game for him considering what he did on the previous maps for them in the previous group stage games. So poor showing here from their star player, and it definitely shows because they're lacking.
It's just a shame that Train has swung this way, but hey ho, there is always a second map and a chance to bring things back and make it much more contestable. Is Chopper going to find the first headshot on towards this? My Rocker is going to respond with a Deagle, however. Keep things at least close.
Yeah, for the most part.
It so far.
For the most part here, it's still a semi-close round, and 4-4, but the problem is you got to look at the firepower. FAMAS, UMP, and Deagle isn't exactly what you want in the Scout as well. So, if they can maybe get the close range duels with those SMGs and pistols, you know, potentially there could be a payoff. But the problem is, look at the setup from the CTs now. One player held on A, 3 towards B, and we saw what happened last time. ALLIN, they read it like a book, and they went to the other side that was being stacked. With QB5, they've read the situation. They've got one more player playing towards A. Hopefully that's the Scout rifle. The Scout, and let's see, Rocker knows to play with the Deagle, so he's going to have to step up heavily if they want a chance of winning this.
I don't know about you, Snods, but I wouldn't put my hopes in the hands of a Deagle. As that right there, that is a gamble, and gambles haven't really paid off for the CT side so far. As already the first pick. Oh, Mer's going to claim it. We'll try and create a bit of a blur, but it doesn't really matter as Kashanda going to be there to be the more securing part of the round. As Waterfalls, yes, he's got that Scout, but that needed to be on the A site a lot earlier now, as it pretty much just pits under. Waterfalls in such a tough one, especially then when you have to add in they're getting pushed in from every single angle.
Yeah.
There is no room for them to breathe.
One of those is doing out, undoing sprays down one player. Doesn't quite connect the spray. Gets, oh my goodness, someone gets 2. Headshot on that last bullet from his FAMAS, and now he spots the player in the 1 versus 1. No kit and low HP, so he shall fall. In the first map, 16-9 going in favour of ALLIN. A strong showing there. They did have a top 4 seed going into this tournament. And, you know, on paper, you look at the aim. The aim on these players from ALLIN, definitely overpowering Quantum, and the team play and chemistry couldn't quite work out for them.
For sure, certainly an exciting game though, and you have to remember, although it didn't feel close at times, the scoreline certainly reflects a different story, and also just the way the frags were found. So I do think that there certainly is, you know, a lot to go by going to the second map, and it's still anyone's series. But for now, we're going to head to a short break, and we're right back with you with that second map.